Alrighty guys, and welcome back. Today we're going to be looking at the shrine yet again. Now this week's shrine isn't probably the best thing you're going to be looking at, but it still is okay depending on the way you're going to be building your character. Now the first perk we're going to be looking at is a DLC perk. It's called Aftercare. This is unlocked by Jeff. Now what does this perk actually do? I believe it is a teachable unlocked at level 40 for Jeff. And what does it do? So basically, when you are either healed by a teammate, when you are hook saved by a teammate, when you're recovered from dying state by a teammate, your aura and that teammate's aura will glow, and you guys will have like bond but unlimited range. It'll only apply on the people that helped heal you, keeping that in mind as well. Now, what does it also do? Basically, it is an unlimited range bond. Now, when the person who has it activated gets hooked, everybody loses the sight. Now, if I'm Jeff and I have this perk and I just got Megan to heal me and Nia to heal me, I can see both of them, but they can only see me. They can't see each other. So it kind of connects, just like the way Kindred would work. Is it a good perk? You know, it's not a bad perk. You can prep your heal and get your heal 99% complete and then let a teammate just tap that tiny little 1 second heal, and then you're going to be able to see each other provided you're not hooked. If he gets hooked, he can still see your aura even when he comes unhooked. As long as a person with the perk doesn't get hooked, it can be activated. It's not a bad perk. I would personally rather Borrowed Time, which is a build teachable, unlocked at level 35. It is a non-DLC perk as well. Really great, I'm not gonna lie. It allows you to help your team in dire situations, and it goes hand in hand with things like Kindred, or you can just run Borrowed Time by itself. Now, the next perk we're gonna be looking at is Huntress Lullaby. This isn't a really fantastic perk. This is a totem that every survivor knows the second they land one skill check on a generator, whether it be a good or a great or even missing a skill check. Basically, there's a penalty for 2, 4, and 6% greater every time they miss a skill check. You know, it's really not that great because A, survivors know. Now, when the killer downs a survivor and hooks them, Huntress Lullaby will receive a token. Every time a token is added, basically when you're landing a skill check, you will have a sound indicator just before the skill check comes. With this, every token delays the sound notification. So the skill check will still come, but you might hear a late ding. So that being said, at 5 tokens, if you've managed to do 5 hooks and kept your totem alive, so sound notifications for all skill checks on the board will be null and void. There won't be any. Whether that's a heal, whether that's picking up a slug, whether that's madness on a doctor, whether it's doing a generator, all these things will become silent. Getting 5 stacks of Lullaby, though, is very difficult. You'd be better off running something like Devour Hope if you really wanted to get 5 token stacks. With Devour Hope, you'd still be able to execute a survivor on the spot with the Mori animation with 5 tokens. Would I recommend this perk? No. It is a non-DLC perk you can unlock on the Huntress as well at level 40. I do not recommend purchasing it. The next perk is a DLC perk unlocked at level 30 by the Hag. Now, fun fact about the Hag, also known as Lisa, she is the only killer in Dead by Daylight with 3 purple teachable perks. Everybody else has a rare and then 2 ultra rare, but she has 3 totems. Now, what does Hag Third Seal do? Basically, it applies to 2, 3, and 4 survivors. It applies the blindness effect when you hit a survivor. Now, before you think, wow, that would be amazing on the pig, so basically, if you were to M1 a survivor, has to be with your mouse click, your left click, okay? If you use an ability, it will not work. Keeping in mind that a nurse using her ability will still activate an M1 when she attacks, therefore it will work. A Demogorgon using Shred, a Pig using Ambush, a Legion using Feral Frenzy, these are all M2 effects, therefore it will not work on these kind of moves, much like Sloppy Butcher will not too. Therefore, that is a negative about this perk, but it's still a positive for perks like Save the Best for Last. What do we know about Third Seal? When a survivor is M1'd or attacked, they will receive the blindness effect for the entire trial until the totem is broken. What does blindness do? It stops aura reading abilities. This basically means if you have objective obsession and you look in the killer's direction, you can't see them, but they can see you. It stops the one-way kind of factor as well. It is actually a pretty great perk when you get it to work. Keeping in mind, if you have it tier 1, it clearly specifies 2 survivors. It's the most recent 2 survivors hit. So if I hit Jeff, then I hit Nia, and I hit Feng Min, it'll take it off Jeff and give it to Feng Min. If you have it tier 3, you can apply all survivors with the effect. Do keep in mind, if a survivor is slugged into dying state, they cannot read their other teammates' auras locations as well, but as long as the teammates don't have the effect of Third Seal, for Third Seal to activate, every survivor must be hit. They can still come over, therefore Knockout being the more superior version, as it doesn't have a real prerequisite apart from downing a survivor and slugging them. And if you had something like with Infectious Fright, you can maybe snowball on somebody like Oni, somebody like the Billy, somebody with lethality and movement around the board. What else can we point out? It does not stop aura reading effects of things like the Plague Wells. So if you were to M1 a survivor and give them the blindness effect, they can still see where to cleanse at wells. They can also still see pig bear traps to get off their head. These things are not counted for it. There is a pig add-on which is ultra rare, which basically hides the location of the boxes and reveals it when the timer in the head has started. But yes, this does not take effect to it. It's not a bad perk if you're a nurse trying to go around and get multiple different hits. I would take Third Seal over something like Thanatophobia, but however, there are better perks on the table. If you want fast hooks, you've got Agitation. You want Information, you've got Barbecue and Chili. You want Generate Aggression, you've got Surge, you've got Pop. You want to stall the game, you have Corrupt Intervention, you have Thrilling Tremor. You have a lot more better options on the table that are more stable, as opposed to relying on a lucky Totem Spawn, which could be a bad spot, and you could have had Devour Hope instead. Moving on to the next perk. This perk is called Meddler Man. Now, what do we know about Meddler Man? It used to be a very overpowered perk in Dead by Daylight until it got a bit of a rework. It is an Ashley teachable perk unlocked at level 40, also a DLC perk. So just a quick recap. This is a DLC perk, this is not a DLC perk, this is a DLC perk, and this is a DLC perk. So if you are in the mood to spend your shards, this is basically a week where you can unlock 3 perks that are coming into the game. Well, that being said, with iridescent shards, you can unlock the Hag, and you can unlock Jeff, but you cannot unlock Ashley. Ashley has to be paid through Ordric cells or through actually purchasing the DLC. So this is the only perk you can actually get that will actually cost real money, as opposed these can be unlocked in-game with the right amount of shards. Now, what does Meddler Man do? Meddler Man is pretty simplistic, right? You need to take 3 protection hits. A protection hit is hard to do. What is a protection hit? It's when you take a hit for an injured teammate rather than that injured teammate going into dying state. Therefore, if I'm saving a guy with borrowed time from the hook and the killer comes back, I will get a protection hit. If Nia is injured running away from the killer and I get in the way and I get hit, that'll be a protection hit. These are protection hits. The killer must be in chase as well with that survivor while they're injured. So keeping in mind, protection can be very hard to do, especially 3 hits. After you have taken 3 protection hits, the next time you take a hit that would put you into dying state, you avoid it. You avoid all damage and you get the borrowed time effect on yourself. That being said, if it was an instant down like a chainsaw, it still wouldn't down you. When you heal to full health, the killer can see your aura when you're further than 12 meters away. So it has a big cost. So a lot of really good players that choose to run this perk, they'll be running it with a good healing medkit, and they might even take botany knowledge. And they'll just try and take those protection hits to help their team. That will save up Meddler Man. They'll get 3 stacks of it. They'll then full heal, and they'll use it for an endgame play. Whether that be a borrowed time save, because remember, you're going to have to hit the survivor, you're then going to have to hit him again, you're then going to have to hit him again, you're then going to have to hit him again to down him. That's a lot of times that you have to hit a survivor, right? Especially with another person coming in with a borrowed time body block hit. If the person didn't come in with a borrowed time hit, it'd be 1 hit from full health. If he had adrenaline, he'd go back to full health, so it'd be another hit. So realistically, 1 hit, and then 1 hit injured, and then that final hit to knock him down. So 3 hits, but a total of 5 if he has adrenaline and a teammate that can take a borrowed time hit. It can be very devastating for a killer that doesn't have a form of lethality. If you are to chainsaw a person with Meddler Man on full health, it won't put him into dying state, it'll just make him injured and you'll be able to run. Keeping in mind that a lot of those players that do take that hit will 99 a heal, so they don't give you the aura reading ability, and then when you're close to them and they think they're going to take another hit, then they'll use the heal, and then you'll have the aura effect for the rest of the trial. Meddler Man is a hard but complicated perk to use. Do I recommend it? If you are a very skilled, seasoned player that will playing in a Swift quite often, yes. Do I think it'll work well in a solo queue game? I do not. I think there are much better options on the table. Even something like Kindred that'll reveal the killer's location, your teammates' locations, allowing you to know whether you have to save, whether you have to work on a generator, who the killer is, where the killer's going, is a killer prepping? These kind of things. Is a killer coming straight towards you? Is they teleporting across the board? Do they have barbecue? Do they have thrill? It'll just give you a lot more information, and Kindred is a non-DLC perk that any survivor can get at the start of the game. I recommend it for both beginner survivors and intermediate survivors, people that want to play it. Even a player like myself, I still love running Kindred because of the information it provides. Kindred with borrowed time and Dead Hard and Adrenaline is one of my favorite builds if I want to substitute out Iron Will rather than Kindred. Anyways, guys, that's going to be all for this week's Shrine. There's going to be another week's Shrine coming up real soon, so I hope you guys enjoy it. Make sure you're staying safe with everything going on in the world, and make sure you hit that subscribe button where I do educational, informative Dead by Daylight content over here live on the Twitch channel, or you can come in and see it right here on YouTube. But make sure you hit that subscribe button and pop into the live stream where I do stream DVD. That being said, you can help me teach the new players about the game if you think you know a lot about it as well. Anyways, guys, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.